All right, we'll give a couple more minutes to see who else is going to show up, and then we'll get going again. I'm happy that you're here. I'm going to dig deeper into eBay. What to sell. A lot of great opportunities here. I'm just waiting to make sure everybody's here before we start. Let's get this up and going. That ain't what I'm looking for. One moment. That's the one I want. And it's not, there it is. All right. Get everything up and going. Get my Q&A up where I can see. Okay, move you out of my way. That wasn't supposed to happen. What'd you do? Oh, I was trying to shrink it. Sorry, we'll be with you in a minute. All right, we got the chat up so you can ask your questions and everything, and I can see what we're doing. We're still on our 90-day challenge. This is session 4. There's actually 8 series to this. And you're gonna let me do it or not? There we go. Daily reminder, review what your mindset is. That has always been ingrained in me. I've got it posted in my room, in the bathroom, on the mirror, and other places around the room. Follow your work schedule. That way you have everything wrote down, you have it online so you can check and figure out when you're working, what is the best time for you to work. You block out the time. And then make sure you're sourcing and listing products. And I gotta move that a little bit. There we go. And again, you want to make 2,000 in 90 days, then you have to be making $22.23 a day. If you want to make 4,000, it's $44.45. Yes, you're going to make more from one to the other, but this is an average. And then if you want to make 60K in 90 days, then you need to make 66.67 a day. All right, status update. I like to make sure that you all have access to the Facebook group. Have you been tracking your numbers and profit numbers? Have you been sourcing the 1%? Even though we're using eBay as our tool, we also use Amazon rank chart, so we know that we are within that 1% of what people are buying, and watch count. I like to know, where did you source this week? How many listings did you create? And how many did you have this week? Sales this week, sorry. And did you follow your schedule? And I got the chat up so I can see it this time. And if you want to put in your questions or answers, we'll go from there. I'll give you a couple minutes, not minutes, but a little bit, because I know there's a time delay. And I'm not seeing anything. I'm not sure if I got it hooked up right, but I hope it is. And it says Q&A. Okay, we'll move on then. Somebody's playing with some fireworks outside. Kind of a little early. All right. On last week's call, there was a question to show you how to set up your eBay store. I didn't catch it in time, so I skipped over it. So this is going to walk you through setting up a store, picking a store, and picking your subscription. So I went to my eBay. You could go to your message too. Up at the top, you click on account, come down to subscription, and again, you go to subscription. Click on it. You're being difficult. And this here is how I got to it. I went home, my eBay account subscription. Then you click on the button to choose what store rate you want to be. I always recommend the basic, and if you want to get a percentage back, then you upgrade to the premium. They will give you some credits to purchase free shipping supplies, which is always nice. I don't have to pay for them. And, well, that didn't, oh, I know what. We'll go back one, then I gotta go over here. We talked about listing on eBay, and I just wanted to go over it again. First, I want to remove that. I just threw some of it together. Children's playground. And I put the photos in up here. What I wanted to show you is I want to put an image in the listing so that people don't have to scroll back up to the top to see it. And also on mobile is an advantage to it to be able to see it in the listing and not having to scroll up. What I do is I enlarge it. Then I come in, yep, copy image, close out the enlargement. And if I'm going too fast, tell me. And we come down here and add image. Hit Control V. Then the other tips I wanted to add is that, like, I took this one from Overstock. I know it's out of stock, but what I'm trying to show you is how you can put a code or an identification in your listing. So if you're on your phone or something and it sells and you want to make sure it's in stock, all you have to do is look at your listing. This is where you would find your identification code on Overstock. You want to copy that. We'll go back to the listings. And I'm in the advanced mode. And I'll copy, eliminate the code because I'm going to put OV for Overstock. And then that code or the identification of it. Now, I don't want them to see this. So by going to the advanced level, I can open it up. You have the option of white, but eBay wants to see the colors. So I want to abide by eBay, but I also don't want the customer to be able to find it. So it's a light gray, almost white. When it sells, I come back in here, highlight it, Then I know it's overstock. I back out to the number, copy it, and then go to overstock, put in the number and see if it comes up. Now, when I put up a listing, I generally take the first 2 or 3 words of my title because we want to be ranked on Google and other platforms. I like to get on first page, weather rank the wall. Okay, you want to put it in about 3 different times. Like I will call it hours, and then you put it in, but I did it in green, blue, sorry, but it needs to be the same size, and I need to resize it. I use 18, and I'll color the whole thing so it's all the same size. We want to come down, find where it is. Again, hour, or however you want to call it, playground. And then I'm only gonna put about 4 words in that, because when they come up on mobile, they're only seeing about 3 inches of the listing. And just keep making sure you don't exceed that. And you also want to do it one more time in the facts down here. I would again say hour or something like that. Is easy to assemble, step by step directions, interactive covers, and so on. But what I want to do now, the very last thing I want to put in there, I want to say thank you for viewing, or thank you for checking out our children's play Cedar One playground. I'm getting in a hurry, sorry. Children's playground, Cedar Wood. And the reason I put it as the last wording there is it's going to give us a better ranking on SEO for Google, Bing, and the other ones. Anybody have any questions on this? Are you seeing it? Or should I kill it and see if I got questions the other way? Oh, that ain't what I want. You see. More, okay. Oh, I did get questions. I didn't see it, I'm sorry. Okay, how do I set up the shipping? Okay. Same thing, you can go, whoops, sorry. The shipping details are right here. I use PayPal. eBay is starting their own payment center, and they're wanting us to sign up for it, but they won't allow us to sell coins, foreign coins, there's sexual related stuff, magazines. So they're making it very difficult. And when I sell a big item, they won't let me access my money right away. So it's supposed to be instituted by July 25th, but I don't believe I'm going to sign up. Your question on shipping, the shipping policy is right here. You can click on it and it comes up and you can put all your information in. Like I sell freight a lot of times, or items that require freight. So I always have a freight one in here. You go flat rate, calculated, over 150 pounds is freight. So that's what I usually do. Oh, generally my shipping is free, but if I know the company's charging me shipping or freight, whatever, I can add it. But like, yes, there is a calculator. I gave it to you in last week's slides, and I put the URL in the Facebook group. But we use like anything over $35 is shipped free on Walmart, Wayfair, Needle, Overstock, Cymax. Most of them are free. That's why I always said list a product that costs at least $35. Amazon is $25. Okay, that's fine. But if it's machinery and stuff like that, you can stipulate that in your shipping agreements. Like if I get out of freight, I think they'll let me. There's also global shipping. Yeah, here. Exclude shipping locations, which is not supposed to be checked. So I'm shipping to Hawaii, Alaska, Providence. Oh, that is supposed to be checked. I'm sorry. Because I'm not ship, we cannot ship to a APO or FPO, which means military. And it's just for your benefit. And we are protected by eBay and PayPal. Did that answer your question on shipping? Because you can create everything. Okay. We got some engaged people here. Nice. Was there any questions on how I was showing you to create a listing and putting the code in? I call it a code. It's just a store and then identification number. Okay, I don't see any, so we'll go back. All right, the niches. Why is that? Excuse me, that one isn't supposed to be up there, but it is. Okay. You might not see it, but it's showing ask questions at, nope. All right, family farms. What people are using around the farm that they don't want to have to go out and purchase. I worked on a farm a couple of summers, so we were always needing bale hooks and binding twine, but I'm talking about big rolls of it. Alternative cleaning supplies, because people are being confined at home, and if they're over 65, they're not supposed to get out and go shopping. So we're trying to meet a need and supply them with the merchandise that they want and desire. This is a good one here. Games and puzzle suppliers. Like I said, on Walmart, all of them you can search, and then you can search on Amazon, top 100,000 or top 100, sorry, top 100. Bamboo toilet paper, I don't know about it, but I was looking into it and it does give you a decent profit. Garden supplies, you can't ship fertilizer. That's just been outlawed since Oklahoma bombing, but you can ship other supplies. Specialty food supplies like yeast. We started out selling a 1 pound, no, 2 pound, 1 pound of activated yeast. We were selling it for $12.89, and then Corona hit and the market has blown up. I can't get it anymore. But we ended up selling 2 1 pound bags for $55. And for me to buy it from a regular store, it was $4.75. So they were preparing if they could never get it again. Oh, you were selling it too. Okay. Yes, yeast. Before the COVID, I had no idea, and all of a sudden it just blew up. Okay, I can handle it. Yes. Okay. Vegan products, natural pet care. I don't know. People think more of their pets sometimes than they do about their own children. I don't get it, but okay, I'll accept it. And you're being a pain. Okay, we'll go into a little deep. Whoa. Yeah, there we go. Wearable tech, watches, earbuds, stuff like that. Remote interactive. I think of, interactive toys that your children can play with, or the parents of elderly people. Remote education. Texas is talking about starting school up in the fall, so is here in Florida. I don't know how I feel about it, but something's got to be done. The kids need to get back and get education. Then check out your work at home equipment. Desks, chairs, file cabinets, impulse sealers, because you gotta seal up your packages before you ship them. Poly bags, all that good stuff. Home gym equipment. I think of this round trampoline. I think it might be 2 or 3 feet around. They jump on it to get exercise and everything. And then music instruments. Not as much the instruments, but the guitar string, I'm having trouble pronouncing it. Guitar strings, the picks, and the reeds that go inside of clarinet. But this is one of them I started out at the beginning. arts and crafts. It's a smaller group, so you don't have as much competition out there against you than lawn activities or tailgating stuff. I don't know if they're going to start everything back up like football, but your long activities chairs, I also put in the charcoal grills and everything, and then hair cutting tools, cooking supplies, gardening supplies. I'm talking about seeds and other things like that. Now we're coming into your sourcing strategies. Don't limit yourself to only one hot selling item. I'm always looking for new items that I can buy low and sell high. I use tactical arbitrage, but that's a paid program. I think it's further down the road for people that are really serious. They have the money to invest. I never want you to go in debt to start this business. That's why I recommend if it's selling stuff around your house, rubbish sales that you can pick it up cheap. Goodwill is still a good one, but I don't know if they're open now. I haven't checked. Always do your research before you purchase. I'm talking about using merchant word, checking out keyword everywhere. Like the list I gave you last week had a lot of information, where to search for your keywords and everything. The reason I recommend that you do your research before is it will tell you if it's going to be profitable. You can look at Keepa or Camel and see what the rank has been and how often it's been selling. If you find a product that's selling fantastic, then I would probably go ahead and buy a case or so. But by the time I decide I'm going to buy a case, I know how many people are selling the same product. I have my keywords already listed, picked out, and then I rotate them if it's not selling quickly enough. And don't be afraid to try a different category. When I first started, baby and arts and crafts was the only two. But then I ran into a gentleman at the trade show. He had mentioned the larger items. It took me a couple minutes to understand what he was saying, but he's saying sell something that is over $100 because you get less people bitching that something went wrong or they were expecting it to be this shade of color. I find a lot with my big merchandise, such as that outdoor playground. I haven't gotten a return request on them. I haven't gotten one on gazebos and stuff like that. Boat, not a boat, electric motor. Them are good. Trolling motors, stuff like that. You just gotta do your research. Any questions before I go on? Gotta get a drink of water. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Your sourcing strategy. You've done your research, you found a product that looks good. How soon can you make money? If you're using our way of finding products, you could, like we use the Amazon top 100. We use Walmart's top 100 items. You could list it from your phone, and by the time you get home, the product could sell. So, you got your account all set up and you're been approved, you have so many listings. If I found an item, what was it just last, oh, a fishing rod, and it had a special reel on it. I looked it up through Amazon and I looked it up through Watch Count. I think I paid $25 for it, and it was selling on Amazon and eBay for over $75. So I listed it for $65.89. And by the time I got home, I had sold it and wish I had bought more because there was only three that left there when I was in there. Uh, Next one, more risk at selling higher. Well, I haven't. Okay. Is there a risk at selling higher price merchandise? Well, I'm drop shipping, so I'm not listed. I mean, not putting out my money until it's sold. So the only risk there is at 35 cents to list the product. And once it sells, then I can go back and make sure. I gave you a chart last week where you can track your items and it's hyperlinked. So every morning I would take that tracking lister and go in there and click to make sure it was still in stock and it still was selling. If it goes out of stock, then I look for an alternative. Like on that listing that we were creating, I had three different sources I would add because I want to make sure I have at least three different sources when I list a product. On my gazebos, I use Hay Needle, Wayfair, Walmart, and then if I can't get it anywhere else, I will put Amazon in there because eBay does not like us selling it products from Amazon. They want it to come into eBay box or our own brown boxes. All right, one more. So, how much of your shopping on fishing poles? The high was because it was a popular item, and I found that they were selling on Cabela's for, it was right around $69. So I knew that I had a good item, and I did my research and knew it was going to be profitable to list. And that one I shipped myself, where the other ones I'm not buying it until after it sells. Now, it wasn't an odd shape, no, sir. It had what was it? A line counter on the reel. So you knew how much line you had out. You can adjust the drag on it too. Okay, back to manufacturers. Again, I was referring to wholesale. You've done your research, you found a hot product. So then you want to check with the wholesaler and see if you can get him, buy them from him cheaper, or if you're farther off just selling one-off items. And then the manufacturer, because when you buy it from a wholesaler, he bought it from the manufacturer. Each person jacks up the price about 35–40%. So if you can bypass a wholesaler and be able to purchase it from the factory, that's more money in your pocket. Drop shipping is my thing. I like it. Like I said, they're putting some roadblocks up. I'll figure it out, or I'll move over to Bonanza, where they still are going to pay me as soon as the money comes in. Don't be afraid to use other or use existing marketplace like Amazon, like eBay, like Etsy. And you can also use Facebook Marketplace. My shipping on that fishing pole was $5 because they had this triangle-like tube from the post office. They have a 36-inch and they have a 38. And I used the 38 because it gave me a bigger circumference for the reel to slide in. And then product sourcing companies, your directories. All this you want to use. You can also use sourcing platforms like Alibaba. But if I find an item on Alibaba, I will take that name, put it into eBay, and track and see if they have a listing up. My reasoning for doing that is if I can find it on eBay, roughly the same price with free shipping, I would buy from them. And my reasoning is I do not have to pay custom on it. I do not have to pay shipping on it. And I can buy as many as they're willing to sell. Like I just bought some handheld shower heads, the handheld ones. And they were selling for right around $30. And I was able to get them for $5.95. I'm gonna wait a little longer to receive the merchandise. I think it's 12 to 18 days. But for that price and the rank it had and what I was seeing with how many sold a day, it was well worth me purchasing it from them and waiting the 12 days. All right, why are you acting up again? Oh, goodness. Now it wants to jump. All right, next week, review and update your existing listings based on what you learned today. I'm going to take questions at the end, and if you want me to go back over something, I'll be happy to. Increase the number of items you list per week. We recommend that you first start out, you sell what's around the house to get you creds, because eBay wants to know you're reputable, PayPal does, and then your customer. Another tip is, I'll probably show you if I remember, is you can buy rings and stuff like that, good looking rings for, I think I was paying 99 cents. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to get creds. I wanted to get feedback and ranking. And the more people look at your merchandise, look at your store name, and it also looks at how it is performing. eBay always gives you a little number up at the top and then stars next to the company name. And that gives people confidence that they can purchase from you and know that you will follow through. And once an item is purchased from me, I will give them feedback right away after I know I can purchase the item. And then I email them. I'm thanking them, telling them what's going to happen. As soon as I get the shipping number from our shipping department, I will give you the tracking number. Even though it's only one person, or if you got 5 or 6 people. That way you sound like you're a big company. My store name says it's a big company. And then they have confidence by looking at the reviews. I sold a composter. I think it was 52 gallons. It's a big one. But it took 4 weeks for it to ship. So what I did is right in the listing, I said it takes 3 to 5 weeks, because I always give me some cushion in case it is extra. And it will be shipping, or he will arrive, excuse me, my tongue's getting tongue-tied. He will receive it by July 9th. I found out how long it was going to be before it shipped. I contacted my buyer and told him that it was going to be that long. And he writes back to me and says, thank you. I know I made the right, bought from the right company because of the communication. You always, if you run into a hiccup, tell them, let them know. Don't leave them hanging. Then they'll start questioning, did I make the right purchase from the right company? Back to next week. Review, always review your why. Know why you're doing this business and that you're hitting your target daily numbers. Attend our Q&A, 9:30 Tuesday and 2 p.m. Saturday. All our times are on Central Time. Then check the membership site, resources, templates, and then again, our Q&A session, Central Time, Tuesday at 9:30, Saturday at 2 p.m. And then our academy. Here you'll get weekly trainings. It's $18 a month, but you have the Q&A. If you get stumped, you can ask your questions and everything in the group, just like you can in our Mastery Facebook group. You get access to the templates, the resources, private Facebook community, access to 20 plus, I think we counted actually, it's 40 plus video training and workshops. And then you get access to last year's eCom Seller Summit and our Q4 Summit. We've already did this year's 2020 Q4 Summit, and the 2020 Q4 Summit is coming up in September. Okay, I'm back. You got questions? Let's see what we can do to answer them, or we can just end it and allow you guys to get out there and get to work. Whoa, that was quick. Okay. You're very welcome. I guess I was talking quickly. It only went 50 minutes. Thanks again. You guys have an awesome night. And grab any questions. You got the Facebook group. Ask them. We'll be in there to answer them too. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You have an awesome night. Bye-bye.